Now, Christmas is one of the most magical times of the year, in large part down to a certain portly character with a beard and a red suit. No, not Colin on a Sunday. In grottos up and down the country, Father Christmas is doing his best to bring joy to children and bring that magic to their lives. And if any young children are watching right now, Mum, Dad, I advise you maybe to turn the volume down for this next part. So, what can you expect when Santa meets your lovely children? We're here to discuss this. Is the UK's very best Santa Claus, Nigel Harvey.
Good morning.
I feel, first of all, that I'm the envy of many children here because it's Bring Kids to Work Day at Sky. Right. And in this glass box, we've got lots of children coming down, waving it to you.
Of course, and I've been ambushed since I got here.
Yes,
it's terrific.
That's what I do. I'm a Grinch. I take Father Christmas away from the kids so I can speak to them personally.
Yes, it's funny. It's usually the mummies that want to talk to Father Christmas. It's rather odd, really.
Some diamond rings, nice designer shoes.
And what would you like for Christmas? You'd like something like that?
I've sent you my list. I thought I was in the good pile. Do you not know what I want?
It's not that.
I named two of them just a moment ago.
Well, yeah, I know. This is what I love about you, wanting diamond rings. You always were deluded, even as a little girl.
And I still am.
Yes, you still are.
Well, look, tell us, how is it you get the title of UK's best Santa Claus? What do you have to do to get that title?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm the best. I'm probably the best in my price range. I don't know. Well, the thing is, it's about making the character real. It's about 1 foot in reality, 1 foot in magic. And there's some terrific Santa's helpers out there that do that. But it's about making it real, I think, because the internet and TV, there's so many people out there saying, I don't exist. Well, quite honestly, I do. And I always have and always will.
And I imagine it is about the experience you give to children, because as I say, the kids here have just lit up just seeing your face. So what is the difference between a good Father Christmas, making sure they've got something that will last the rest of their lives, even when, the reality of it just hits them maybe when they get a bit older?
I think where a lot of corporate grottos go wrong is they spend a fortune on the grotto and then put someone in on minimum wage in a fancy dress costume that doesn't want to be there.
So pay more is what you're saying.
The thing is, if you want a good Santa, you have to pay. Get a proper actor that knows what they're doing, that can make that character real and give children something to believe in.
And if you do then want to pay that extra buck, what could you offer then? What could a good Father Christmas, getting the right salary for the job, what would you have to give compared to a minimum wage Father Christmas?
Well, the thing is, you need to research about Father Christmas and St. Nicholas, and so any questions you can answer. You need to know all the names of the reindeers. You need to know things that are happening at the moment, like at the moment with Brexit. We've got the Brexit Christmas dinner that doesn't have any Brussels. And things like that, little jokes, little quips like that, people like. Yes, very little jokes.
Almost invisible.
Yes, I know.
But you're right, Father Christmas, because it's been a pretty tough year, a lot going on, a lot of depressing things in the news that we cover all the time. I mean, how important is it to maybe take children and families away from that?
Well, a bit of escapism's terrific. I mean, the thing is, as you say, so many bad things going on in the world now. If you can just make people lose themselves, even for a couple of moments, it is worth it. And I've seen a lot of very terminally ill children this year, and you're bringing joy and magic at the darkest moments, and although it can be very difficult, it's also very rewarding, because you can see a child that's in a lot of pain and they're giggling with laughter, or and money can't buy that. So it's all about being able to spread joy. I mean, like Colin does the rest of the year.
I'm interested by this idea of speaking the language of Father Christmas. He was a 4th century Greek bishop. How's your Greek?
Well, yes, but the thing is, we've got a long way from there. You need to get with the times, Colin, you really do. Why? I mean, come on, you've had more children than most. You should know.
Well, that is a problem. I mean, it is a problem. And there have been occasions, there have been days in the run to Christmas.
Yes.
Where they've seen multiple Father Christmases.
Yes.
And it's for you to sort of square that logically with them. We all become complicit, don't we?
Yes.
And to some degree, you've got to tell these little white lies.
Well, they're not white lies. The thing is, Santa does exist. And if you see more than one Santa, it's Santa's dipping in and out of timelines. Surely you watch Doctor Who. Surely you understand.
On a rival channel, Father Christmas. Couldn't bring myself.
Exactly. I have to be able to slow down time. Like Christmas Eve, it seems to take a lot longer. It's a bit like watching one of your interviews. It just seems to take much
Well, I begin to see now, well, they pay you so much. You are quite spiky. How long does it take you to get to the full fig?
This takes me about an hour.
Right.
Really?
The chap underneath it looks completely different. Sounds nothing like this. And it's great because he can, after a gig, can walk out and no one bat an eyelid. So it really is terrific. And it's been wonderful for this particular actor, this Nigel Harvey chap, because he now gets to do this all year round.
All year round?
All year round, because
How does that work?
Well, because you have TV companies and advertising companies doing things out of sync. I mean, I filmed a Christmas special that comes out in December on the 5th of January. So it's still constantly going, and even I get invited to do Summer Santa at some of the festivals, Santa on Vacation. Now, what he will be doing is promoting something that's happening at Christmas, but if you have hashtag Summer Santa with me in my summer gear, you get discounted tickets and so on and so forth.
You must see the full range of children. I mean, kids who are really grateful,
yes,
really obedient,
yes,
and some brats.
Yes.
Well, I mean, how do you treat them all fairly?
Well, the thing is, brats usually they've got a clever comment to make. Now, if you've got a clever comment to come back, it sort of shuts them up pretty quick.
But you're old school entertainment, aren't you? In a sense, you're not social media.
No.
You're not as I'm finding you more entertaining than Facebook, but maybe there are kids who don't. I mean, you've got rivals out there, haven't you, to keep their attention?
Well, yes, absolutely. But the thing is, you cannot beat one-on-one meeting someone. And, people say, oh, don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed. What I try and do is make it better than they imagined. So it's even more magical, it's even more wonderful than what they were anticipating.
Yeah, I mean, what about the older kids then, the kids you are fighting against, say, social media? So I've got a 12-year-old and a 4-year-old, so
yes,
it's very difficult to get my 12-year-old to get in on the act, but it makes a difference, right, when you've got a good Father Christmas to hopefully just bring that little child back.
The thing is, when teenagers see me, they get it straight away. And I've had teenagers coming up begging for selfies. And I've met the real Father Christmas.
Getting out of here without any selfies, you can be sure of that.
Exactly. But I think teenagers, especially, when they see you doing it properly, they go, oh, hang on a minute. This isn't someone with a cotton wool stuck on his face. We've got something real happening here.
Well, I'm going to be pulling your beard later to see how real it is. How do you stop yourself becoming bored with the role, though? I mean, you're an actor.
Yes.
Part of acting is the variety of all the roles and learning the different scripts, etc. You've only got the one script, the one character.
But I haven't got one script because a child could come and ask you something completely random.
Such as?
Well, for instance, you can have a child say, so what does Mrs. Claus wear in bed? Things like that. You're like, well...
Let me just check that it's not quite watershed yet, Mr. Claus, if you could just...
Well, you see, obviously, I say, well, she wears a dressing gown because it's so very cold in the North Pole, you see. So.
What's it like when you see children respond to you and reacting to you?
The thing is, when a child gets excited, I get excited as well. So we both get lost in the moment. And the thing is, a lot of grown-ups that have not really had a good Santa experience in their childhood, suddenly they become children as well, and they get excited. So it's all about tapping into that joy, because there is joy to be had. And just with a few choice words here and there, it's such a powerful character. You can make someone's year. Even if they've had a terrible year. I've had elderly women come up to me in tears saying it took me to the age 80 before I met Father Christmas. And they've got tears in their eyes. Yeah. So if you do it right, the rewards are just endless.
So is this full-time for Nigel then? Does Nigel have to do anything else, or can he just be Father Christmas 24?
Well, Nigel wanted to do lots of things acting-wise, but the phone rings and they go, can Santa do this and can Santa do that? So it's sort of, you know, he certainly thought when it first happened, well, that's December sorted out. He didn't realise he'd be asked to do things. And also, I've been asked by the Santa community to go and do keynote speeches at big conferences.
The Santa community?
Yes, there's a whole community out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, the internet is good for some things, you know.
My wife is, on one level, the grittiest, least sentimental woman I've ever met, but she goes gaga about Christmas. I remain a little bit agnostic. What do you say to bar humbug Scrooge types like me that we should suspend our disbelief and get with the Santa programme?
Well, the thing is, I mean, from what I remember you as a child, you were never measured as a child, so it's something that's happened sort of later on in life, you know, and everyone gets a little bit grumpy. I mean, even I get grumpy. Father Christmas has off days, you know. But all I can say is, look, there's so much negativity out there. There's so many things in life that are very bad. If you've got a reason to celebrate, do it. Because, oh, I'm not celebrating my birthday, oh, I'm not celebrating Christmas. They're probably the 2 times of the year that you're going to have the opportunity to celebrate. That's 2 out of 365 days. Enjoy it, because, you know, I'm sure, as everyone out there, you know, have lost dear ones this year. And so Christmas, there's going to be someone missing. So you never know. Every opportunity you have to enjoy something, do it, because you can't turn back time and have a better time, or wish I'd done this, wish I'd done that. Christmas and birthdays, celebrate. Wedding anniversaries, celebrate.
Can I just ask you a semi-serious point? 900,000 people this Christmas Day will be working. Now, that's fair enough if you're one of us. Journalists have always worked on Christmas Day. But lots of people now have to cook other people's meals, which strikes me as a bit bar humbug, really. More and more of us are working on Christmas Day, you know, making it less special. Well,
yes, I get that. And in some cases, people have to work Christmas Day to make ends meet. Because of the situation that we're in. But certainly at some point during the day, if you can just have that moment to just take a deep breath and just enjoy it, because, you know, I mean, look what's just happened recently in Germany. You would never know what's around the corner. Any opportunity, please, 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 grab it by both hands and have a good time.
Well, you've been working for Christmas Eve since forever, right?
I have, yes, and it's made my life very enjoyable. I can tell you, it's been wonderful.
Okay, well, I'm going to speak to you a little bit later about that list I spoke to you about earlier, Colin.
Thanks very much, Claudia Lisa. I've got my phone at the ready for the selfie. I'm going to just have a little tug on those whiskers, see how real they are.